excited to see if I agree with your all-star takes, because the all-stars have been revealed. We have the full list. Generally speaking, I'm pretty okay with it. I have the list pulled up here. Sonia Citron making it as a rookie out of Washington. Skylar Diggins, Ryan Howard, Kiki Iriafin as well. Shout out to Sonia and Kiki, friends with no cap space, both making it in their rookie year. I mean, come on now. You come on, no cap space, good things happen. I don't know what to tell you.
That's the luxury tax bump. That's
all. Come on now. Kelsey Mitchell, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kayla Thornton. I love the Kayla Thornton story of this season. Courtney Williams, Gabby Williams, and Jackie Young. I think just generally speaking, like just as I've kind of perused the timeline and the hellscape of W Twitter, I feel like the names that I've seen thrown around in terms of snub, Brittany Sykes, I feel like has been numero uno. And I know that you talked about that some in 5 Out. I saw Bree Jones, Azurá Stevens, which I think has a really fun case. I saw a little bit of Dearica Hamby as well. But just your general thoughts, and we'll get into more of the specifics, but your general thoughts on the All-Star reserves as they were revealed.
Yeah, so let's reopen this because I think out of this group, Sonia and Kiki, I understand the nod because of how transformative they have been for Washington this year. The Mystics aren't the same team without those two on the floor, right? Even with Brittany Sykes and Sydney Johnson coaching, if Citron and Kiki Iriafin aren't a part of that franchise right now, they're not 8-9. They're not the fun surprise team of the year so far in the WNBA. With that being said, I think I'm on the fence on both of their inclusions over Brittany Sykes, just because I think Sykes she's the scoring leader. She's the assist leader. The numbers have been down in terms of her field goal percentage, but she gets to the line. I saw someone kind of joke and say that WNBA coaches didn't appreciate her, doing a SGA impression for the first half of this year and punished her accordingly.
An SGA impression would be winning MVP, would be winning scoring champion, would be winning finals MVP, would be winning an NBA championship. That don't look like an SGA impression to me, but I digress. I'm just saying. That don't look like SGA to me.
You know what? See, this is why you cannot take you anywhere, because you just, give a guy a title, and now all of a sudden this is what happens.
I got the Eagles and the Thunder in the same year. I have to
and a Philadelphia WNBA team, like, you're just incorrigible at this point.
It's a hell of a time to be me. A hell of a time to be me.
Great time to be Tyler DeLuca, especially when boots on the ground hits All-Star game in Indianapolis.
Hello, credentials came through. Shout out, Big Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. So what? Going back to the reserves list here, because I feel like Ryan Howard is a little on the fence. When you start to factor in the numbers between Ryan Howard and Brittany Sykes, I looked at it this morning to try and bolster a case, and I didn't want this to be a situation where I'm saying a player doesn't deserve to be in. But if you stack these players up next to each other, Brittany Sykes is 11th in the league in scoring. Ryan Howard is 16th in the league in scoring. When you factor in field goal percentages, not just from three, but also from the floor in general, 36.8 for Sykes, 34.2 for Howard, 3-point percentage, 37.5% for Sykes, 29% for Howard. If you factor in additional counting stats, 5.2 rebounds and 4.7 assists per game for Ryan Howard. And then for Sykes, it's 3.9 rebounds a game, 4.6 assists per game. So it's close. It's like a legitimately close argument, but because Ryan Howard is on a team that is a top 4 unit in the WNBA, it is a lot easier to make the case for her to be on this roster. Now, that's probably the only guard one I take issue with. The front court, I wrote Azurá Stevens should be in here, and my basis for this argument is Kayla Thornton, I think, is in here on the basis of Golden State being a surprise, her being the number one option on Golden State, but also kind of a little bit of an MIP case here like getting an
For
all-star nod for having a career year leading a team that nobody expected to be good. And while I understand that component of it, right? Like from a sheer win-loss perspective, Azurá Stevens is also having a career year unlike any she has ever had in the WNBA. And the numbers aren't too far off from Kayla Thornton's here as well. Like, I'll do the cold read. Like, 19th in scoring is Kayla Thornton. 21st in scoring is Azurá Stevens. You know, their assist and rebound numbers are similar. Actually, in rebounds and assists per game, Stevens is averaging more. Stevens is averaging a significantly higher field goal percentage. She's actually top 10 in field goal percentage this year, and she's a nearly 39% shooter from three. Now, defensively, she runs into trouble, and that's been the Sparks' biggest problem this entire year. It's why they're 6-13. And with Kelsey Plum on this reserve list, I don't think you can put two Sparks on this thing. On this list. It's the same argument against Hamby. Like, why do two players on a 6-13 team merit being on a roster like this? And that's where it kind of falls apart a little bit for Stevens, because if you suggest taking Kayla Thornton out, then you would have 2 LA Sparks and 0 Golden State Valkyries, which makes absolutely no sense when you're actually thinking of who's been an all-star this year. But Azurá Stevens, I feel like, is the best and most interesting story of the season from a player perspective so far. And I'll get into that when we do Biggest Surprise. But Kayla Thornton feels like that one is a little bit interchangeable. The issue past that for Bree Jones, who are you going to take out of this front court aside from her? Maybe Kiki. Yeah. It's Kiki. I would. Yeah, I guess you would argue.
Yeah, it would probably be Kiki in that sense.
So what about this? Then, do you think it would make sense, or would feel a little bit less controversial if you just flip the team's front court backcourt? So you in the place of Kiki Iriafen is Bree Jones, and in the place of Ryan Howard is Brittany Sykes. And so you still have the same amount of Mystics and Dream. Your two Dream representatives then would be Alicia Gray and Brianna Jones, and your two Mystics representatives would be Sykes and Citron.
I don't hate it. Like, I mean, again, like it feels weird because I guess to me it's like when I say Sonia and Kiki are all-stars, and like admittedly, this might be a little no cap bias here, but like that doesn't like come off as like wrong. Like I don't feel like bad.
No,
saying
I don't
that,
think so.
So it's like it's hard for me to be like, oh, we need to take them out. But like I do understand the case for that, and like them probably being on like the lower end of that case, especially when you look at a team. I mean, like, because it would like the idea of like Golden State not having an all-star, like honestly, kind of on brand for like the style of play that Golden State has, because they don't have like they don't have a star player. They just have a whole bunch of 6 women with 6 women mentality, and it creates an incredible team. So, but like at the same time, how like you're gonna put 2 Sparks on there and not a Valkyrie? Like that just doesn't feel good, you know? So it's like that's where it gets weird in that sense of like the team record aspect and everything. Again, I understand the case for Sykes, and I saw people like kind of like battling against it by saying like the inconsistency. Frankly, there's a couple all-stars
which is
like it's a valid like
that's a fair argument, but there's inconsistency in this reserve list.
Exactly. Like I mean Angel Reese, like it's not really inconsistent as much as kind of like a first half, second half to the start of the season where she's really come alive. I mean, like there's
Kelsey,
several
Courtney Williams.
Yes, absolutely. Like there's a whole lot of inconsistency across this. So it's like that doesn't weigh heavy on my heart at all. Like to say that Sykes has been inconsistent as an argument against her. Again, like and again, it really could be the no cap bias, but like frankly, I'm fairly happy with this list. Like there's not anybody that I feel strongly about, and I also think it's an interesting list because, and I don't know off the top of my head, honestly, but I wonder how many times we've had like injuries come into play like this in terms of like Kyle playing but not playing enough games, John Quell playing but not playing enough games. Like there's a couple spots here that are like pretty well like, okay, we can kind of assume you're going to be an all-star that simply just aren't here this year due to injuries. So I think that's also kind of an interesting spot like of this list as a whole. But again, like I'm generally pretty okay with this list, honestly. Like I'm really not too hurt by any of it, frankly. Like I'm pretty okay with it.
No, not at all. I mean, look, this is what you want. You want your all-star teams, your all WNBA teams, your MVPs. You want there to be snubs. You want there to be enough qualified people that there are snubs. You know why? Because it gets people talking about your league. Like, these are some of the things that I think, Shawnee's talked about it as well. Dude, all-star, like, snub, like, this is the essence of normal sports talk.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're not having a discussion in here at all about, who's in here off the basis of, what politicky bullshit. Like, we're having a conversation about, who's on the snub list based off numbers. Like, this is the type of thing that the WNBA actually, I believe, should be pushing as a league. They're more than happy to cozy up to, some of this more culture war adjacent stuff. But the reality is Kathy Engelbert should be trying to get a camera down to Washington or put up one of her media people to like ask Sykes about the snub. So Sykes can get out there and be like, how dare they? Cheryl Reeve has no problem with this.
Absolutely not. One thing Cheryl Reeve is never going to have a problem with is speaking out on behalf of her players. Goodness gracious. For
her and Dawn
better
Staley,
or worse, like,
they're the same person. They're the same person. And I love this for Cheryl because this is total SEC football coach shit. Like, you're the number one team in the league. Yes, you did lose a Commissioner's Cup final, but like, you're chasing bigger fish at this point. You got the MVP, the front runner on your team right now. You're burying everybody in your path for the most part, and you are still finding a thing to be pissed off about. Like, this is Dawn Staley, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart shit, man. I love it. Rat poison. And here's the thing. I don't think she has much of an argument here, if we're being honest. Like, no, this is the South Carolina problem. Like, we talk about this in women's college basketball when we talk about All-American lists, Player of the Year honors, All SECs, SEC Player of the Year. Like, when you are a team that is, one really dominant player and then a really good cast of characters, or just generally one really good cast of characters, regardless. Dude, this is the cost of doing business. Like, Fee averages 24 points a game. Obviously, she's going to get in. Courtney Williams over Kayla McBride, I think, was an interesting one, but I feel as though that was more of a McBride was out for 4 games at the start of the season. Courtney Williams has played all 19. The best ability is availability type thing. Also, I do think Cheryl Reeve is right. I think she is the best mid-range shooter in the WNBA. She's also a great personality. Like, she's going to add a little bit. Not to say Kayla McBride wouldn't, but like, you want Courtney Williams at all-star.
We're getting the snubbed stream on the court. Like, look, my
one stream, Dad's probably going to show up. Like, all of those things.
I'm so sorry to our content. My one goal of All-Star is to be on the Stubbuds stream. Like, if I'm not making a Stubbuds cameo, like, something has gone wrong. Like, even if it's just me like walking in the background, just a quick little hi, But no, I'm gonna get us content too. Don't worry, Andrew. Don't worry. The company car is gonna be put to good use. It's gonna be good use.
I'm just thinking about what on earth you would talk to Natisha Heidemann and Courtney Williams about on Stud Buds.
I don't know. Last time,
what did you do there?
Last time I was at All-Star, I went in and talked to Ariel Powers, and I said, "Thank you for providing us that video with Cheryl Reeve on the airplane," because I thought that was the greatest content that the WNBA has ever produced. So like, this isn't the first time I've tried to cross over. I like personally went and thanked her. Like, it was well, okay, anywho, but no, like, I don't know, man. Let's just, like, sometimes the boots will be on the ground. They're putting boots on the ground. Like, we'll see, like, I don't know. Like, wherever the stream takes us.
I'm just giving the agenda. The no caps Space Stud Buds collab would go crazy. Absolutely crazy. Courtney Williams on the court doing it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So 100%. I don't know. That's my thought. I do think Alana Smith had consideration. I don't think you can realistically put her there either.
No.
I like this field. And we'll get to it when we talk about AmeriCup stuff, but realistically speaking, man, the backcourt is going to be so stacked by like 2029.
Dude.
Like, the 2028 or 2029 WNBA All-Star Game backcourt is going to look filthy. Absolutely filthy. I actually did the math on this. Just like, I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I put it into 5 out. I think it just might have gotten too superfluous to write about in the column. But I think there's just 3 players on the entire All-Star list that are over the age of 30.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
And
that's right.
and
That,
and
that
I
feels
went
about
and
right.
looked and I went and cross-referenced it with this year's NBA All-Star game because I was like, that feels out of like out of the ordinary, but I wonder how much. And over half maybe of the WN or of the NBA All-Star game rosters over the age of 30. And it just reminds me of how, like, when we talk about the league and we talk about the stars in the league, right? There is this really big gap in the NBA right now where, Tatum and Jokic, aged 27, 28, and Jokic is 30, like, they either aren't the magnitude of star you want or don't care to be. And so there's this huge chasm between, like, 40-year-old LeBron James, like 35 plus year old Steph Curry, 35 plus year old KD, and the group of guys under the age of 25, like Ja, Anthony Edwards, your boy SGA, like,
I was just
and
waiting for it.
there's like a 10 to 12 year gap in, like, stardom, right? And what is amazing about when you look at this roster top to bottom of the WNBA All-Star game, you've got a 28 and a 27-year-old in Fee and Asia, who are the two best players in the league right now.
Yep.
You got stars at like 25, 26. You have like a Sabrina Ionescu in there. I'm trying to think of who else is in like that 20 and 21 class. Sabrina's in there. Ryan Howard is in there. She's like 24, 25. Gabby Williams is 26. And then you have the rookie class and the sophomore class. So like Aaliyah Boston's under the age of 25. Caitlin Clark is like 23, 24. Paige is 22, 23. Angel's 22, 23. And you realize just how dense the stardom is from like 3/4 of this all-star roster down. And it makes you realize just how good of a place the league is in from a marketing and stardom perspective. It has not always looked like this. No. And this is something we're celebrating because there's even more on the way. And that's going to be a really cool thing to watch too.
Yeah, no, I'm still, I mean, like, even if you just think about, like, realistically, the fan vote that's going to come in, like, for the players, like the rookies coming up, as long as you're playing like semi good, you're probably going to be an all-star, right? It's like the idea of, like, bro, imagine like Hannah Hidalgo's first all-star game. I'm ready to see if Hannah Hidalgo like takes it serious. Like
the 2027 or 2028 Stan Wars for fan voting are going to make Love Island USA look like a fucking picnic. I mean, like, you thought, like, bro, you thought Huda and Alandria stands were bad.
Juju,
Caitlin, Paige, Angel, Juju, Hannah, Miles, Flauge, AZ. Like, this is going to get wicked, boy. You better double factor authenticate your passwords because they're just going to be finding anybody's email to sign in and make the votes for, bro. Like, the WNBA is going to have to do voting on the app or it's going to get gnarly in a hurry.
Yeah, no, I genuinely, like, I think about this a lot, honestly, about like the in general of like where the WNBA is going to be in 5 years, even just from like who's on the roster and like how rosters are constructed, because it's like the guard play that's in like on the way and like guard/wing play, and obviously it's been such a big dominant league just in general over the course of its history. But goodness, even just from like a quote unquote motion perspective, like, dude, 5 years. Like,
oh yeah,
like, but think about the time by like Michaela Blake's and Sarah Stronger entering the league, Joyce Edwards entering the league. Like, imagine like where it's gonna be by then, and like obviously who knows what caliber of players they'll be at that point. But like, just even like where the W as a landscape is going to be at that point is gonna be insane. And then when Aaliyah Chavez, Jazzy Davidson, Sienna Betts, those type of players come in, like, I've been watching the Jazzy and Sienna clips that have been on Twitter today have been hilarious.
They're fun.
Like, it is a thing that has been around for a while now, and like it really hit me. Like, we went to Overtime Select this summer, went to Overtime Select last summer. The balance of both understanding your own individual brand while keeping your own personality that these young players have, and now is just kind of growing into as we continue on in this NIL era, is so legit. And by the time that they are WNBA All-Stars, their like brands and personalities and fan bases are going to be so well fleshed out, and I can't wait to see where that's going to be. It's going to be hectic, and I'm so excited. Like, it's going to be ridiculous.